Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly succeed in the entertainment industry while others struggle to get noticed? Is it because they have a special connection? Or is it because they simply know how to make their own opportunities? And perhaps most importantly, how do we stop waiting and start participating in the success that we dream in, that we think about every single day? Hey, my name is Will Roberts, and I'm a professional actor of 35 years plus in front of the camera and behind. And today, we're going to talk about how Hollywood is no longer something that you want to wait in line to be invited to. And it's something more that you want to participate in. You see, the entertainment industry, particularly in Hollywood, has evolved in ways that were unimaginable just decades ago. The world of actors, filmmakers, and content creators is no longer a separate place, a separate person. It's not the same as it was. It is definitely not your father's industry like it was so long ago. I started in the 80s, and I have to tell you, it is vastly different than today. But if you're smart and you listen up and you follow our instructions, I promise you, you're going to really exceed and get to achieve all the things you want to. You see, today, all the operating of the inside the ecosystem and using the different tools to collaborate towards the same ultimate goal are right there in front of you. The story, the attention, and the momentum. Whether you, are an aspiring actor or a filmmaker, which, by the way, probably is the same exact thing nowadays because actors are making stuff and filmmakers are acting. Bottom line is that if you have a passion in this industry and you want to break into it, there are fundamental changes. And it's now really more about creating your own path and not waiting for someone to hand you permission. You see, the evolution of auditions. Online performs like self-taping, of course. It's not as much in the room anymore. But let's start by addressing how auditions have changed. Now, in the past, getting a role in film or TV or commercials meant that you had to show up in person at a casting call, either in person, like I said, or through an agent who could really land you the opportunity and the audition. And of course, now we have Actors Access and casting networks and all the rest of them. And of course, filmmakergenius.com, which is ours. And all these auditions are really happening online. So you need to be in the same room as a casting director, or quite honestly, in the same city, state, or country as the casting director. See, with the rise of online casting platforms, actors now do a different thing. They have to know a little bit more about all this stuff, the whole ecosystem, about what information that you need to know for the casting as a breakdown or the tools that you use. It's really just more or less back in the old days, you would just show up and go, "I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille." But in this case, you got to know you're in front of the camera and in back of the camera stuff and how to get it out there and how to get noticed. Really, you really don't need to worry about where you're at anymore, whether it's New York, LA, Chicago, Timbuktu. It doesn't matter. In today's world, all you need is a camera, an internet connection, and the ability to showcase your talent. Now, this also gives the actors more control over their performance, as you can reshoot your audition tapes really as much as you want until you feel that you're satisfied with them. But we'll talk about that stuff later for the actors. And really, your advantage really is that you know your information, you know how to shoot it, and that you produce something that, we're not asking for a major motion picture, but we want to know and see a performance that isn't distracted by all the other things that are in place, that are production. Again, back in the old days, you just showed up and an agent gave you, or a manager gave you an audition, and you really went to the room and you did it. And the director and the producer would just look at your resume, your headshot, and, they decide whether or not you were right for the role. Today, content is the new proof. If you're an actor or a filmmaker and you're not putting out content, stop it. You're missing out. Social media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, even Twitch, and there are so many more. Look, there are so many platforms out there and things you can do, but we're going to help you in this whole course how to focus and not only give you the insides of what's happening, but a whole different mindset of what you want to do and how you want to approach it. It's really the proving ground for your talent, what you can do with your talent, but being able to get noticed with your talent. Whether you're posting viral videos, short videos, web series, or a live performance, your content can act as a calling card to the industry. Now, imagine a filmmaker uploading a short film that's a showcase of their own unique style. It may not be a big budget project, but hey, it's still up there. And really, the bottom line is that it's about getting the audience and getting the attraction to them. And now everybody from products to studios are looking for those people. They're looking for the viral videos, but they're also looking for sincere performances. They want to see that you can provide an instant glimpse into your capabilities and creativity. You see, these platforms allowed you to build audiences, showcase your work, and attract collaboration on all types and all terms. Collaboration over hierarchy. The changing power structure of the industry, whether it's film, TV, even theater, really has changed drastically. The third point I want to drive is that how you collaborate will overtake the hierarchy. Really, in the past, the traditional entertainment industry was really a bit like a pyramid. At the top, you have the major studios, the directors, the producers, and those are the gatekeepers. See, these are decision makers. They're the ones that will get you hired. They'll get you cast, and they'll be able to take you on that route and the skyrocket to wherever you want to go. But it's changed. If you wanted to succeed back then, you had to climb that pyramid. Or, to be honest with you, you could climb the ladder. But I use this analogy all the time. Like people go, yeah, as an actor, you have to climb all the way to the top with that ladder. Well, here's the reality. I've been doing this long enough to say this statement and really mean it. We are really, as the performers and the filmmakers, the dirt on the ground until we get established in that ladder and climbing it. Proving yourself to all the higher rungs before you can actually say or do anything is really what's key. But today, the power structure has drastically changed. It's shifted. Content creators, filmmakers, they're no longer waiting at the bottom of the pyramid and hoping for a chance. Like, look at this new film, Iron Lung. It was a YouTube video or a movie, and now it made, $21 million? People are creating their own paths, folks, and you have to be able to get out there and do that. And if you're not willing to work hard to do all those things, I got to be honest with you. Go work at a Starbucks or something. They'll tell you exactly what button to push. But if you really, really are driven and passionate about what you're doing, this is the path that we think you should take. Whether you're a director and you're working on something with an actor or a small independent film or a YouTube team with branding or sponsorship, collaborations, really all those have replaced the old ways of really doing business. Platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and even LinkedIn have become spaces where people can collaborate regardless of their level of fame or their industry status. Of course, if you're an A-lister, it's probably easier to get in and do these things, but not a lot of people are. An actor, for example, might team up with a filmmaker or a short film project. The filmmakers may not have a lot of resources or money, but together they can make something that catches the attention of other industry people. This horizontal approach has opened doors for so many new creators, giving, everyone an equal opportunity to be the best part of something meaningful. Building momentum. Why wait for permission when it's no longer needed? It's no longer the answer. Now, let's talk about something critical: momentum. Momentum is probably one of the key things in this industry because on an average, and you've heard this adage before, most people give up when they're literally one step away from fame, success, or money. In the industry, that's probably a very big one because I've seen so many people in my lifetime of, well, my show business lifetime of 35 plus years that I've known hundreds and hundreds of actors, and they all gave up. Maybe at the wrong time. Maybe they didn't keep trying. Maybe they were waiting for permission. The key to success today isn't waiting for someone to tell you what is good and if you're good enough. It's about creating your own momentum. You can do that by consistently creating. That's what it's about. Create, share, and engage. It may not be like viral, and you may look at this and go, why am I doing all this? It just seems like a bunch of bullshit. I mean, nothing's looking and people aren't looking at. It doesn't matter. You just have to keep the momentum. If you're thinking about the way that major stars built their careers, many of them don't wait for big breaks to happen. They make their own breaks. I heard a great story about a British actress, or I saw an interview, and she said, and if I showed you her picture, you know who she was. And she said, they asked her a question, how many auditions did you do when you started? Well, she said, well, in the first year, I did maybe 150 to 200 auditions. They said, out of that, how many did you book? She goes, 0. And she said, here's how I did it. I made my own stuff. I wrote my own stuff. I got the cast. I tried to pull back and get pennies and dollars. Wasn't that easy, but I did it. And now, if you see this woman, I can tell you right now, like many other actors, they've succeeded because they kept going. But more importantly, they knew everything around it, like shooting it, editing it, doing everything. Because that's kind of the key, and that's what's going to happen. Because building momentum, once you start, you can't stop. You need to keep putting out work out there, engaging with your audience, and collaborating with others. Really, it's a continuous momentum forward that helps you stand out in a crowd in this industry. Look, the practical action basis system. No more waiting, no more wanting, no more waiting for